It's more than enough. Like literally, that's so much money.
Okay, a 1 year limited edition crazy car. Who cares?
It's kind of, this is basically the Demon.
This is just rich people stuff anyways.
Exactly. Like this is literally the Demon. The Demon is 1 year and you can't get it again. And now those have all gone up in value.
So what you're saying is whoever buys this exact model will have a very valuable car in the future.
You've probably already made money if you own one of these.
Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a follow-up on the 2021 Dodge Durango Hellcat class action lawsuit. 8 to 10 months ago, Dodge released that they're going to be producing more Durango Hellcats in 2023.
Yep, there's still time to get the most powerful SUV ever. The Durango SRT Hellcat is back for the 23 model year. And even though they were able to figure out how to keep building it, you all know the stories you heard about emissions, compliance, and blah, blah, blah. It is not detuned. Still 710 horsepower, 645 pound-feet of torque, and still the best-in-class towing, and most importantly, it's the most badass SUV you can buy.
I'll bill you.
You said it was free.
Well, we're trying to run a business, sweetie.
Which made a lot of Durango Hellcat owners very angry.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
So what happened in 2021 was Dodge kind of did a bait and switch tactic.
Today's episode, bait and switch.
Missing cat. Who doesn't want to help?
Where they said they were only going to be producing 2021s in 2021 only, and they were only going to make 2,000 of them, and they were never going to make them again. Get them now while supplies last, and if they run out, you're never going to be able to get these things again. So here comes 2023, and they've started to release the 2023s to the public for sale. People have started to buy them, and it has tanked the 2021 Durango Hellcat market. It actually tanked the market when they said they were going to make more. So most of the 2021s were selling for demon prices. I mean, these things were selling for $160,000 because people wanted to collect these vehicles. And then after they said they were going to make more in 2023, it tanked the market, and these things were selling for $70,000 to $80,000, way less than they were purchased for. And that is a big deal for collectors. I know a lot of people in my first video were saying, these aren't really collector cars, you shouldn't have bought it to collect it, that's not what a vehicle's for, and the list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, a lot of people do like to collect cars, but you don't plan on going and off-roading it and jumping it off a bunch of things, taking it to the track. I have a Durango Hellcat, a 2021. I bought it before Dodge released that they were going to be producing the 2023s, which technically makes me part of this class action lawsuit. But at the end of the day, I really don't want to be a part of it because you're not going to get anything out of it. The issue with class action lawsuits is the lawyers make all the money, and the people that would possibly benefit from this aren't. And it's a vehicle. It's not like there was a drug or something that you took and then it was a class action lawsuit or surgery or something like that that's really important to be sued on. But at the end of the day, Dodge broke their word. They produced more 2023s. They're possibly going to be producing 2024s, and I've also heard 2025s. I don't know how true that is. But if this class action lawsuit does go through, reading the literature, it shows it's going to be over $5 million. And it's showing that I don't know exactly, I'm not a lawyer, but it's showing the full value of the vehicles at $95,000 to $100,000 a piece. So if that's true and they sue for the full amount of the vehicles, which would be like around $190, $200 million, that would end up being probably a lot of money, which would be crazy. And Dodge would definitely notice like a $200 million deficit because they're sued for false advertisement, which in the United States, false advertisement is a pretty big deal. If you say that you're going to do something, or if you're a big corporation and you say that it's a limited run, you're not going to produce anymore, it turns into this thing where you're kind of lying to your consumers to bait and switch them. And bait and switch tactics in the automotive industry as a dealership or a distributor is like the worst thing that you could try to do. And I have no clue how far this is going to go or who's going to win it. But it seems like Dodge has been served the papers now and they haven't responded. I mean, there's a lot of these vehicles that are collector cars, and if the company would have just kept making them, they wouldn't have been worth anything. That's like saying I have a 95 Toyota Supra, 98 Toyota Supra twin turbo, 6-speed manual transmission, and Toyota in 2023 releases that they're going to reproduce the Mark IV Supra as a twin turbo manual option, and it's going to be in the $15,000 to $30,000 range, tanking the market of Supras that are selling currently for $150,000+. So I would say that it's a pretty big deal for Dodge because they kind of went back on what they said to their consumers, and financially I think it's going to also hit them pretty hard as well. So reading the literature, it states that it's going to be over $5 million, which if you think about, it's not much to Dodge or Fiat Chrysler or Stellantis or whatever you want to call it. But if you keep reading down, it's showing the full value of the vehicles, and there's 2,000. I think there's more than 2,000 of them. So that'd be, if they're going to sue them for $200 million, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know exactly what they're going to sue them, but Dodge did get served the papers finally. And if they sue Dodge for $200 million, I think their shareholders are going to be very disappointed in the integrity of the company, because that's a pretty big hit. And they just paid out their shareholders billions and billions of dollars. So I think Dodge is going to get a lot of bad media coverage, which is also going to affect their new sales on their EVs that are kind of already affected, because most of the people that had Hellcats and had stuff that would be able to afford Trackhawks, Durango Hellcats, that would be able to afford the new EV charger, they aren't going to go for this EV stuff, and I think they're going to lose a lot of their customer base, which at the end of the day, who knows what's going to happen. But it is not good to have a bad public view, especially when you're a big OE like Dodge and you've been doing the same thing since 2015 with the Hellcat. The only thing I could think of is what they're trying to do with all this EV stuff is they're trying to get everybody kind of mad at it, so it kind of pumps it up. But then at the end of the day, they're going to go back on their word in a couple years, start producing Hellcats again, and then people are going to be more excited about them, because the Hellcat has been produced since 2015 and it's kind of getting old. They've done everything that they could do to the Hellcat. They now have, you have the Goblin that's going to be producing supposedly 1,000 horsepower, but Dodge's wheel numbers are always way lower than their actual numbers. So it says it's going to be producing 1,000, but it's probably going to be producing like 900 something. I mean, that's still a lot of power. But if you get a Nissan GTR, the great thing I've always loved about Nissan is you buy a GTR, it says it's going to make 600 horsepower, and it ends up like some of them make like 700 from the factory. So it's just a lot nicer to have a company kind of like Nissan that is standing behind their customer base. I like Nissans, I like Mazdas, I like Hellcats. Dodge makes a good vehicle. It just is that they're just really tainting their customer base by just saying that you're not worth anything, your opinion's not worth anything. And I think this class action lawsuit is most likely gonna hopefully wake them up to what their consumers are saying they want. And it's not, it's not lying to them. I think the biggest part is lying to their consumers. Who knows what is going to happen with Dodge in this lawsuit and the Durango Hellcat owners, but I'm going to keep you guys followed up on it as it progresses, because it seems like it's going to take a little bit of time. Dodge got the papers served to them, and now it's just kind of a waiting game to see if Dodge is going to settle this out of court, which I really highly doubt. Most likely this is going to get a lot of media coverage, and there is going to be a lawsuit against the Durango Hellcat owners and in their class action lawsuit in Dodge, and we'll have to see. But I'm going to end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click that subscribe button, thumbs up, throw a comment below what you think about this. See you guys next time.